All right, it's been a while. I'm trying to get some stuff out, but it's kind of hard. It's just not having luck. But we're going to try and get at least a review out today, some comic book reviews, and then we're working on the previews, but that's all audio. If you follow our audio podcast on different platforms, but today, let's see what we got. Starting out with some comics from Milwaukee MightyCon. Back in fall. I did not. I was going to do these all individually by creator, but I never got to it, never got it to work out. So I am going to just put them in the next couple piles. I'll be going through some from the different creators that we met at the show. You can find out more about the different creators from our Milwaukee MightyCon episode we did a while back, the newest one, because the older one has some other comics that we reviewed separately. So look for those if you're interested. We're starting out with The Adventures of Florida Man. This is not Florida Man, the Florida Man comics that we checked out the first, I think, 2 issues that we reviewed in the past. But this is The Adventures of Florida Man, whereas those are, I believe, just Florida Man is the name of those comics. But this is written by Martel Harlan, art by Aaron Johnson. Follow along the sometimes strange and unpredictable world of Mars as he tries to keep on the straight and narrow path of freedom after being released from prison, sometimes facing some of the wildest challenges Florida has to offer. And it's nice, clean artwork. Our character gets out of jail and gets picked up by a friend from the past. Who, if you are spending time in jail, usually whoever picks you up is someone that's a little bit of trouble. Could cause you some problems if you make a deal and end up working with them, getting back into the old ways. Excuse me. Of course, we gotta start off right away with a little dry, raspy throat. But I do have laundry going in the background. I wasn't thinking about it, so if you hear a bunch of noises, that's what that is. I don't know if I mentioned that yet. But yeah, I liked the way it played out and everything, the way they did the story in here. But yeah, usually if you get picked up after prison, it's gonna usually end up being someone that's might have helped you get into prison in the first place, or might get you in there later on. Um, so you can imagine some of the things that happen and how he's trying to stay on the straight and narrow, and everybody else is trying to pull him off the straight and narrow, and just it was well done. It's nice getting some of these Wisconsin and usually the ones at the Mighty Con in Milwaukee. Most of the creators are from Wisconsin or Illinois. Uh, so the ones we're talking about will be from those areas. This next one I'm going to do in a group session here from Extraordinary Universal Comics. We have Coloreyes versus Nightfighter. Nightfighter, The Long Last Parallels. Grifther and Shifter Origins. These are characters that have, I don't know if each one has can only control 2 colored powers at a time. We have a green-red character, we got a blue-yellow character, and they have powers that use those type of energies, those colored energies, and they battle across what seems like different realms. One character's sorry about that. My phone's going crazy for some reason. That was really weird. There's not any. I have no idea what's going on there. Someone is trying to send an incoming voice call, I guess. But we got 2 main characters, Coloreyes and I would believe it's Grifther, are the 2 that battle it out the most. And Grifter's got the blue and yellow powers. Coloreyes has the red and green powers, and they're constantly battling away. We get lots of origin stories in here. We get other characters that come into the realm and either join up with one or the other, or join in the battle, or start their own battle. And it's interesting. It's like our planet, or whatever planet this is. I never know anymore with all the different multiverses and stuff, because there are different planets mentioned on here, and one character does come through a portal, and they talk about, we have one of the stories talks about like aliens that invaded, and no one wants to talk about them, but yet there are still some like alien human hybrids out there, and it was a little confusing at times. Uh, this is another example of taking that little extra bit and have an editor just go through and double check things. It's amazing what a comic can do sometimes. Uh, but other than that, the story wasn't that hard to follow along on. It just, some parts I think would have popped a little bit better with some touch ups. Are a lot of battle scenes, a lot of colorful artwork. The characters were interesting. I want to know more about them, but I wasn't. So like I said, I was having problems at times figuring out where the storyline laid, who was on whose side, why they were battling certain things. Some of the origin story descriptions were long descriptions with little visuals, so you weren't really connecting too much of it with the storyline. It's something like that's easier when there is a past story that someone could possibly know, and they could catch up to things easy enough. But yeah, I was a little bit of lost. It's like Jiran, Omadis, Komi, or whatever, Alikali. It's like Alikali, I believe, is a land, uh, not a planet, but or a town or anything like that. It's more like a tribal style land that they talk about, but I wasn't sure about what was going on between. I mean, it sounds like you have a couple clans like Menzel Davao and Alikali com- competing with each other, fighting with each other all the time. And bunch of stuff happened because of that, and I was a little lost, but I did enjoy what I did understand. I did catch, but it's illustrated by Mashak Burkhalter and written by Mashak Burkhalter. But I have two signatures on here, so I'm not sure. The other person just had a part in one of the books, or if they had parts in all of the books. But yeah, I think just a little cleanup on the writing and a little more understandable art style, and art style's fine. It's the battle scenes and stuff. I wasn't quite sure how the characters were standing and battling away, but yeah, I could see it as a fun concept. I could see it going somewhere. But we'll see what happens. See if they have more. And they did have 5 comics to get me introduced to them. So I always like checking out any local creators or Midwest creators. We have Count Crowley, Mediocre Midnight Monster Hunter. The next murder is chapter number 1 of 4. I really like this character. We're learning she's still working with the old man that's kind of like trying to teach her some things, but yet he's also getting her in more trouble along the way. Uh, she's again dealing with lots of demons. She's learning how to do more of her. It's kind of like she's taking the lead now in her monster hunting and basically gaining more perspective of the job and what she's all about. She does play around with alcoholism again. She's still dealing with that, which she'll always deal with. But yeah, they like to bring that into the storyline. We also kind of got a creeper that's kind of like an ice cream truck, but it's not ice cream, it's masks that he's selling. And these masks do things to you. I don't want to give it away, but yeah, she's dealing with that. And I like her cat. Hangs out with her. Kind of. I can see him in the future being more protective to her. Maybe possibly working with her on some of the. Because I'm sure cats have ways to identify certain demons and stuff. They've used that line in the past with other storylines, so hopefully we'll see something like that in the near future with this. But yeah, it's just the teaser getting her started, but she's back to her old things, learning her craft, getting deeper into her craft. Uh, and we're getting to see some interesting characters that she's gonna have to chase after here as the story goes on. Like I said, it's issue 1 of 4. We have Evolution, I should say, by IMR Entertainment. This is number 5. I thought I had the first 3 or 4 of these, but after reading this, I feel like I didn't. I don't. So I guess I'm gonna have to go back into the story, and we got the next Mighty Con coming up in February, I think. So I will have to see. I'm gonna have to go through my back log and see if I just didn't read these yet or what, but I recognized the covers, so I thought I had picked up 3 or 4 of the first issues, but then they had the new issue out, so figured I'd grab this one. But it's written by Mario Callo and R.J. Reyes, artwork by Ryan Best, lettering by H.D.E. Smith. Beautiful artwork, nice character design. It's kind of like I said, not having the first 4 issues in my brain and not knowing if I have read any of them. It starts you out basically like someone's kind of working in a VR computer world, uh, and they have someone that they're supposed to take care of, watch over for a day or something like that, and they stop doing what they're doing. They bring them in. They make some contact with some characters that are on some off-world area, and they're exploring some unexplored region, and they're gonna lose contact. And these 2 characters kind of work together to get something up and running that we'll see more of in the future, I'm sure. But our characters that are in the no, I didn't even notice that this was a basically full page cover. Uh, our characters that are in the off-world area. There are a variety of warriors, militants type characters, and they get an introduction to some unique critters and characters that have like fungus growing out of their body. And I don't want to give it all away, even though this is a local comic, so it's probably really hard to find. You can look back in my reveals from the con on how to contact everybody, but this is 1MR Entertainment or IMR Entertainment. I think it's 1MR. But they don't give you the. And when you're an independent distributor, if you want contacts, you gotta get it. But here's the website, Instagram. Try and scan on that, see if it works for you if you're interested. But I really like what I've seen from this, but now I'm completely confused that I thought I read the earlier ones and I must not have. So I'm gonna have to go back and see if I got them before the next con and read them because I want to know where these characters all originated from, what thing is that the guy was doing that was kind of like VR related. If that's gonna where it was taking us, where it came from, what it was all about. One of those things where I was okay reading just this issue, but yet it left me a lot of things I'd like to know more about, but I don't need to know more about. All right, we got Local Man. Now this is confusing as hell to me because this is Local Man. Uh, Volume 1 collects issues 1 to 5 from Image Comics. Stray Dogs creator Tony Fleecs teams with Revival's Tim Seeley for a series that combines rural crime noir and superhero action. Once the star recruit of the media sensation Super Team 3rd Gen, Jack Xavier had it all. But when controversy sends Crossjack Crawling back to his mom and dad's basement in the Midwest, Jack struggles to fit into a world he left far behind. And then the bodies start. Yeah, he's kicked off the supergroup, and he's left back in his hometown, left to his own demise. Yeah, the uh, third gen characters have monitoring devices. He's not allowed to do any super stuff, not allowed to get in fights, not allowed to hunt, go near certain places, or follow any leads for anything. One of his old early arch enemies ends up getting killed, and some other people get killed, and he kind of gets the target put on him for it. And at the same time, he's out trying to figure it all out. And just so happens he kind of fooled around with a police officer's girlfriend back in the day or whatever, or was with her before they got together. I can't remember exactly how that went, but they sit there and he kind of works with the police officer. He gets arrested and all that stuff. Gets fingered for basically all the crimes and anything that's happening. Then he's doing some research on the deaths and stuff, and he's just dressed up with his little mask, hanging out with his dog. And that's how he gets his local man name, because there's a write up in the newspaper and they mention it. Uh, I'm from Wisconsin, so I love all the Wisconsin related stuff. And we focus on Rhineland or Washington County, all these different areas. But our dog character, I'm curious. He's a smart little shit. He knows what he's doing. Has a few issues in here, but also there's some stories about some things that have happened around the area, and I'm wondering if the dog doesn't have something to do with that. We will find out though. But yeah, he just keeps exploring, keeps trying to find out what's going on, who did what, why these people ended up being attacked. Has some confrontations himself. It's very well done, Tim Seeley style book. But the reason I'm confused about this is I got some local man comics that I thought were issue like 1 and 2 and maybe 3. No, I think I just got 2 so far. Characters are there, but I feel like the stories are completely different than what I'm reading in here. So that leaves me lost and confused. I mean, this is 2023. So it should be the newer stuff, but I don't know if there was something in the past that I'm reading from. Really not sure. It it confused me, but I love the story. I love where it's going. I like that it's localized to areas that I know, so I'm recognizing things that are mentioned in here. But see, I will follow, get volume 2 when it comes out, and I'm gonna go back and read the couple that I have and see if I'm just confusing things, if those are under a different storyline or what. But still great fun stories, because the ones I have two are flip books, so you got 2 stories in each one. You're not seeing that in here, but yet you're seeing bouncing around, giving you past history and all that stuff. So nice little nuggets of information that you get throughout this one. And then we got Of Death, book 1 and 2. This is from spacesheriff.com. This is another local creator. This one was kind of, I really like these stories. I liked where this is going. But, you won. This is by, let's see here, Justin Spanky Cermak, Chaz Traug, and Breeze Zauza. It's kind of like a just post-apocalyptical event times where we see, well, we basically see a big accident, and that when we get to meet the Reaper, it comes for some people, but then it's like we jump to a whole different scene, and we don't get no timeline difference. Usually, if we went back in time or whatever, it would say we went from 2023 back to 1980s, something like that. I get the feel that this is all of a sudden we start out with an accident and meeting our Reaper, and then we jump back in time to a school scene and get to meet some characters and learn about some powers and abilities, and we find out that our character that's in the accident in the beginning ends up having to deal with certain tragic, and I hate blowing the story, but it is an independent creator, so it's going to be hard to get these anyways. But she's on some type of special medication that her dad jacks her up with, and why she's on it, we don't fully understand. And the first issue's a nice, decent size comic. And the second issue's very thin, almost like a teaser comic. And it's like we went from a color comic to black and white. So it's like they cut the amount of pages, they cut the color out of it, so there was obviously a cost issue, but it still leaves you just wanting, if this one would have been as thick as the other one and then gave me an explanation of the girl and what she went through, that would have been better. But I did like what we got from them. They have something on the back here. Let's see if it's worth reading. I don't read these things when I read the comics. I wait till I review them. Death comes to the small town and the hideout, Haven Point, in the form of the Dark Pope. In the second issue of Death, and if that sounds ominous, there's also a demon possession and high school arch nemesis hijinks. If you like WTF moments, this comic surely provides. Yeah, it was like, what the fuck, a lot. But I enjoyed it. I want to know more about that character. I want to know where her origin more and deeper, and find out why she's on certain types of weird injectable drugs. What's up with her skin? It's all almost kind of got a like a Frankenstein style feel to it. Frankenstein story. But we'll see. And it could be that there was an accident and she ended up like this, and to keep her alive, this is what her dad did to help her out, and that's why she's still going. So she's Frankensteined out, the monstered out. Not sure, but I like it. I want more. So we'll see what happens. All right, we got a new Punisher. Marvel Comics started a new Punisher run. I was leery about it. I'm not happy that they took away the old Punisher and they're trying to go a different route and to make a new style Punisher. We basically get the same format. Person has some issues with his family being attacked or whatever, and because of that, becomes the new Punisher and goes to trying to make him more of a savior style, uh, but they're taking away. They're making it sound like Frank was just this only out for the people that murdered his family, but he's not. He went after whoever was in an area where he had issues, where he came across someone. It wasn't just based off his family every time. At least I didn't feel that way from the movies, the books I've read over time. But this one seems more like he's just going after all the bad guys, the way I thought Frank was. We have an interesting team that's kind of in the background behind him. Uh, his uniform, his weaponry, it's, I don't know. I'm giving it 3 issues. I decided I would give it a shot. I didn't hate it, but I miss Frank. Not sure if this new Punisher see what he does to try and suck me in, but I have a feeling 3 issues will be about as far as I go, at least the way this one's starting out. See what happens. Anything could change. Could have a great second issue. A lot of times that does happen. We have Smokeweed See the Future 420 one shot special. And this, if you're following the storyline, this was a Kickstarter also. You get a fun little story of someone new coming and looking back, looking at their future through her special weed. Uh, and of course, she has her little moments of clarity herself, just trying to figure things out, what's going on. We get some little backstory and stuff in here. Uh, I feel this is based off the first farm. I don't think this is the new farm that they're in. We also get some pinup pictures. I can't remember, was this oh yeah, there was a second, there was 2 stories in this one because you get Angel Upon Chronic Clouds, which is a reprint in color, but it's a story that if you read the original volume, you'd know from that volume. Crazy cat lady that likes wants a cat. She is not giving up trying to get the cat from the farm, and they gotta keep an eye on their cat so it doesn't disappear. We have also from Mighty Con, this is Spectress preview issue. This is a very interesting character. This is from Kurt Sauer, KG.com, or KG Comics, I should say. Kurt Sauer at gmail.com. I read this not knowing I had the first 5 issues also. But I read this last night, and we see a group of characters go into a battle, and one character's kind of like kicked back, not wanting to take a gun, just kind of sitting on the ground, just trying to figure things out, kind of like she's afraid to go into battle or something like that. But if you're a fan of Moon Knight, this is a female Moon Knight style character, uh, but yet she possesses others. She herself is the entity, and she can transfer herself into other people's bodies, and then she can take over the battle for them and do their thing, or do whatever has to be done. And I really like how she transfers. I like her as a character. I like the group that she's working with. I hope they all work together in these 5 issues, which I will be starting to read tonight and reviewing next week, hopefully. But yeah, if you like Moon Knight, you would be really into this. I think if you're looking for a female style Moon Knight type character, you don't have all the BS with the multiple personality stuff like you do with Moon Knight. It looks more simplistic, more a character, that can transform, and transformer formation that can possess. And I thought it was a lot of fun. So we'll see how the 5 issues go. Hopefully they'll hold up as the preview did. Then we got from our friends, Matt Rogers did this cover. So we picked this one up. But we got Squish and Squash, issue number 1. There's a variety of covers on the back there that you can pick up. It's this one was the Matt Rogers cover. I think I got the blank sketch cover also. But these characters are fun. And you're basically dealing with a cat and an elephant, is it? Kind of. A cat character and an elephant character traveling through space, doing whatever it is they're designed to do, but they want to become part of the rescue squad. But they're not there yet. They're still part of the flunkies working up to be part of the rescue squad. And the fun artwork. Uh, but while they're off on a job, they hear a distress call, and they decide that they're going to be the saviors of this ship, and they go and answer the distress call, and you get to see what happens. And it's a fun, all ages story. I would say all ages. Great for bedtime reading or whatever for the kiddies. So get them into comics. Then our final one that we're talking about today is What If Dark, the Tomb of Dracula. Like, this one kind of felt like it was the regular story, and a lot of the what ifs stories do have that feel that it's like, well, I'm not reading a different story, but then they take the little twist and do what they do to turn things around. But we get our Dracula vampire type characters in here. This is based off the Blade storyline, how Blade was born, how his mother was attacked, and he was born a half vamp, half human, and we get to see the outcome if it's played out in a little bit different way. And I really like this one. We have some fun little vampire imps demon type characters in here, but we get to see what happens if basically Dracula attacks Blade and things go differently. And we get a lot of fun bat battles in here. They like to transform to their bat forms a lot in here. But yeah, you're just getting a little simple twist on the storyline and where it could go and what would change in the world of Blade and Dracula. And it's just very well done again. I like the what ifs. I like the little twists and turns. I know there's one in the newest catalog for cannot remember. It was something I was happy to see, and I'm definitely going to be checking out. So we'll definitely be getting some more what ifs in the near future. Yeah, that was some reviews for today. I liked most of them. There were a few that needed a little updating, a little fix 'em ups, but I like to support the local creators, Midwest creators. Anytime I can make it to a comic show and I find someone that created something, I'll pick it up and back it up, support it, see what it's like, review it, talk about it. But yeah, hopefully we'll have more fun ones in the near future. I know we're getting down on our newer comics on our stack, so hopefully we have a new shipment coming soon. But other than that, rate, review, tell a friend, subscribe, check out Crimson Color Comic Club also, and keep following Under the Color of MS. We'll get back to you again soon. Bye.